From the Pep Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. The Detroit Free Press is reporting that they interviewed an anonymous father from Detroit with a transgender daughter. When he talks about his daughter, you can hear fear and anguish in his voice. He's afraid for her because he believes doing his job as a father, keeping his girl happy, healthy, and safe, is going to become exceedingly difficult under the administration of President-elect Donald Trump. His daughter, a bright elementary school student who likes riding her bike and playing with her friends and hugs him every night when he returns home from work, is transgender. And Trump, who decisively won last week's election, has pledged to rescind protections for members of the LGBTQ plus community, especially those of transgender minors, adding fuel to what many believe is an already hateful environment. Throughout his campaign, Trump was clear about his anti-transgender stance, even claiming falsely that schools are without parental approval, providing students with sex change surgery. The president-elect has vowed to ban gender-affirming care for minors and to terminate from the Medicaid and Medicare programs any hospitals or healthcare providers who participate in such care for minors, which most often involves puberty blockers or hormone therapy. A study by the Harvard School of Public Health found that gender-affirming surgery is rarely performed on minors. Trump has also vowed to establish a new credentialing body for teachers that will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. And he has vowed to ask Congress to enact a law stating that the only genders the U.S. government will recognize are male and female, and that those genders are assigned at birth. Members of the LGBTQ plus community say the campaign, which included heavy play of anti-trans commercials with the tagline, "Kamala is for they, them, Trump is for you," has eroded public acceptance of trans people. In a related story, the fear and uncertainty comes at a time when transgender youth, through lack of acceptance and stigma, are already more likely to struggle with depression and suicidal behavior, more likely to experience violence and homelessness than their cisgender peers who identify with the gender they were assigned at birth. In 2023, approximately 3% of high school students identified as transgender, and roughly 2% said they were questioning their gender orientation, according to a study by the U.S. Centers for Disease and Control and Prevention. The study also found about 25% of transgender and questioning students said they skipped school because they felt unsafe, compared with 8.5% of cisgender male students. Roughly 40% of transgender and questioning students said they were bullied at school. Approximately 70% of transgender and questioning students said they experienced persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness. Approximately 26% of transgender and questioning students attempted suicide in the past year, compared with 5% of cisgender male and 11% of cisgender female students. Research shows that gender-affirming therapies help minimize the risk of depression and suicidal behaviors. According to a study published in 2022 by the Journal of the American Medical Association, young people who received gender-affirming therapies were 60% less likely to experience depression and 73% less likely to experience suicidal ideation or behaviors than youths who did not receive gender-affirming care. What my hope is that the administration will take a moment to reflect about what they have done, what they have caused, and how their words have impacted our community, and to take a minute to reevaluate their priorities so they are serving all Americans, not just those who are part of the MAGA movement. Of the LGBTQ community, we can say that we have made significant advances over the last 10 years. There's still a lot of work to be done, but we are a community of resilience, and we are a community that leans on one another, and together we are going to take this one step at a time. Be sure to download the Live 365 app to be able to take PEP Radio wherever you go. Also, if you are on the Pennsylvania Equality Project website, please consider clicking on the donate button for PEP Radio. Every dollar counts toward our goal of spreading the news relevant to the LGBTQ+ community. If you are watching the video version of the news on YouTube, please click the subscribe button to stay informed. That's the news at this hour. Now back to more music on PEP Radio.